Hey y'all, welcome to Culture Cult. My name is Marie. I am the host of the show, and this is a podcast where I tell y'all the craziest stories you've ever heard of from every country in the world. And we're also trying to learn about every country in the world so we can all become less ignorant of each other. But today is a travel story episode. So essentially, I'm going to be reading off some travel stories from Reddit with my cousin Gravy. Her name's Grace, but we call her Gravy. And are they true? I don't know. It's Reddit. So either way, it's entertaining. So yeah, let's get into it.
So are we doing travel stories?
But I'm going to read you Reddit travel stories.
Okay. Wonderful.
Yeah. I'm going to take you on an emotional roller coaster with these stories. I'm going to start with this one. It said, went scuba diving in Mexico. When diving, started to get the shit sweats underwater. Didn't know that was even possible. Made it through the dive and back to the boat, but there's no restroom on board. Pause. That kind of, when I went to the boat, I went on like a scuba snorkeling thing. That's kind of common on these boats. They were like, you
can't not have a bathroom?
They're like, on the boat I just went on a couple weeks ago, they're like, you can pee. You cannot shit. If you shit on this boat, we will all know and we'll make you clean it up.
But so where would you put it to?
I didn't eat all day. I'm not kidding. It was like an 8-hour trip.
Oh my God.
I had Pepsi and beer and I did not eat. But they were like, they were like, we will call you out and you're gonna have to clean it up.
I feel like I would have anxiety poops.
No, literally.
Like I feel like I would be stressed about not pooping that I would have to poop.
I know. I was like, can I use the bathroom? That's so stressful. And I wish I had known that. Thank God I didn't eat anything crazy the night before. That would have been quite a nightmare. But this is just if you're going on a scuba trip, maybe the story here will help you know. And also my story, like you can't use the bathroom like that. So he said it made it through the dive and back on the boat, but no restroom on board. Had to announce to a group of 9 strangers that I could not wait and needed to go right then and there. The dive instructors were super nice and told me just to hop in the water and go. Another diver said she would go too.
Wait, they wanted him to poop in the water?
Yeah, they're like, go back in there. But so he already had to announce to the whole boat that that's happening. So I'm sure everyone's like, okay.
Everyone's like,
get in the water.
In the water right now.
So the dive instructors were super nice. Another diver said she would go too. Not sure if she really needed to. She was just trying to make me feel better. I would not get in the water if I knew someone's about to shit. I'm just like,
but it was a nice thought.
I know.
Very sweet.
I know. And she's like pretending to poop. She's like, "Oh, I'm going." Are you?
Yeah. Now I'm like thinking like, how many people have pooped in the ocean?
So many. But it's okay because it goes somewhere. I don't know where.
Okay. We won't think about it.
Yeah. But it goes. So anywho, I hopped over the side and grabbed the buoy rope so I wouldn't float away. Let loose, not knowing I had diarrhea. Engulfed myself in brown cloud of shit.
No.
So the other diver was midway down the boat. We tried not to make eye contact as I proceeded to disperse my liquid shit away from both of us. Trying to move it. Managed to collect myself and get back on board. The driver moved the boat so everyone wouldn't be diving through my shit. Did a second dive. Managed to make it back to the dock before the second wave hit me. Oh my God.
No.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? He'd be like, I gotta go again, guys. You moved the boat.
Oh no. I feel for him. I feel horrible. For him.
Yeah, because if it's like diarrhea, sometimes you don't get it out all the time. Like it's like you're sick. You're actually sick. Okay.
He's probably dehydrated.
Yeah.
He needed water.
Yeah.
Or
and charcoal pills. Mm-hmm. Get charcoal pills. This will help you when you're hungover. This will help you if you eat something bad. It cleanses your whole body. You do need to drink a lot of water.
Stay hydrated.
So she said, did a second dive, managed to make it back to the dock before the second wave hit me, was confined in my room the rest of the night. I was staying with the dive company that took me out. So I had to see the instructors that knew I shit in the ocean for the rest of the week. You can't even leave. And like try to forget.
I had to hide for a year before I came back out into society. I mean, I think like apart from having to see them the whole rest of the week, when you're traveling like that, you're like, okay, I never have to see them again in my life if I don't want to. And you can move on. And you're not going to think about that they're probably telling the story to all the scuba
Everyone,
divers now.
everyone.
They're
Oh
like
my God.
warning people. They're like, make sure you poop before you get on the
Go
boat.
on. Yeah, now you're the
Let me
warning
tell you this one
story.
story.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about the poop ocean guy.
Well, I just think it's awful. Like you have to see them the next day and you're like grabbing coffee and they're like, are you sure you want to do that? Like,
You know what they say about coffee
I
in the
know.
morning.
I feel like everything you do the rest of the week, they're like, are you sure you want to do that? Are you sure?
Also, there's no way that this is the first time that this has happened.
No, no. I think that's why they reacted so like, yeah, just go in the ocean. We have to drive to another spot. But also think about
I
if you
understand
had
if
to
you gotta go.
shit, like to do anything with that suit, you have to take the entire thing off. Plus you have to take the tank off. Like it's
Oh,
actually
I
like
forgot about the suit
so he
situation.
shit in the suit. So he had to get out of the water and like sit in that suit all day. Oof. But
Oh
even if he
man.
wanted to go to the bathroom, like even if the bathroom worked, he has to take off. You have to take off so much off you to go shit. Like in the best case scenario, it's just if you go scuba diving, you should not eat. I think you shouldn't eat.
I think it's like all my possibly our pooping horror stories
Yeah.
do not meet these extreme levels.
No.
I'm like I suddenly am like all of my pooping horror stories are
Fine.
little.
Yeah.
No big deal.
This,
Boats need bathrooms.
what do the guys do who work on the boat? I'm like, do
I feel
every
like
day
we
you
need
not shit?
people who own boats or often boat or scuba.
Or scuba.
Please let us know if this is a common thing.
Yeah, please.
We would like to know. And how frequently are people pooping in the ocean if there are often no bathrooms? We would
Yeah.
also like to know.
Okay, the next one, different vibe. I was hiking alone in the mountains. To get there, obviously, you had to come through the woods way down below. As I made my way back down to the tree line, I headed into a clearing and decided to take a moment to rest. Took my hat off, took a breath in, shook off dust and pebbles. Suddenly, I just became very aware I wasn't alone. Normally, when this sense kicks in, there's a deer or a moose or a bear. I turned towards the trees and saw a man, all clad in black, just staring at me. He was completely motionless, didn't look like an inch of a hiking or climbing gear on around him. I thought it was odd, so I wanted to snag a photo. Reached out for my camera, and when I stood back up, the dude was just gone. I immediately got flashbacks of that scene from David Fincher's Zodiac when the Zodiac killer appears behind a tree and then disappears. I was extremely spooked. Now, of course, I'm in the wild. Surely I'm not the only one out there, but this was in a relatively remote spot, and I hadn't come across anyone until then. I had to make my way out into the area where I saw this person. I was on high alert for some intuitive reason. But when I passed by where he or she stood, there was no one to be found. I looked around and called out, even nothing. The whole 8 hours, Jesus, back down, I didn't see anyone else, not one single soul. I think of that day often.
I
Ugh.
love hiking. I love hiking, but I think I would call for a helicopter.
There's no one there.
But there was somebody there.
You're going to call him. Yes, do you need me?
I think like if I saw a creepy man,
Oh,
like and I was alone, which first of all I don't think I would hike alone. I'm not.
no, not in this remote area. He says it took him 8 fucking hours to go down
No,
this
that's what I'm
mountain.
saying. When I did my wilderness first aid, if anybody was wondering, I'm certified.
Oh, so
Actually, it
cool.
expired. I need to renew it. Um, but one of the things that when they were teaching us about all the different like things that could happen, like emergencies that could happen
Yeah.
on a trail, and it was they were talking about I did in North Carolina, so they were talking about all the different poisonous like snakes and insects and stuff like that that could bite you essentially. And they were like, if you get bitten by this kind of snake, you'll probably be fine. Like, get out off the trail, go to the hospital, blah, blah, blah. Like, you have time. And then it's like, but if you get bitten by this kind of snake, helicopter time. You need to get out of there immediately.
Oh my God.
He was always like helicopter time for like certain things.
Helicopter time.
He was like, if somebody fell, broke their foot, helicopter time. Like, I don't know. Anyways, creepy man in the woods, helicopter time.
Helicopter
Get
time.
out of there. Get out of there. Okay.
Oh my God, that's
Also,
so
a lot of times
scary.
when you're hiking, you'll lose phone service or it'll say you have no service,
Uh-huh.
a lot of times you'll still be able to call 911.
Wow. That's really good.
It's not like 100% guaranteed, but a lot of times even if it says you have no service, you should still be able to reach 911.
Oh, I just can't believe like he had 8 hours of walking back and he didn't know where this person was. That 8 hours?
I
That's a full
I would
work
be
day.
running.
Oh,
I would be
God.
running
Oh, yeah. I would have. Oh, my God. I would have been running.
because for the people who believe in, ghosts, could have been a
Mhm.
ghost.
Mm.
It also could have been a serial killer trying to hide a body, and he's like, "Frick, I just got caught."
Oh, I didn't think about
Have
that.
you listened to that My Favorite Murder?
I listen to My Favorite Murder
And
every week. Shout out.
shout out My Favorite
Shout out to
Murder.
the fact that I fucking met Karen Kilgariff
I still can't believe that. I still can't believe it.
at a
I'm
bar.
jealous. That's crazy.
She doesn't give a fuck about. Actually, no, wait, guys. They mentioned me on the podcast. They mentioned me. I'll tell that at the end of the podcast because I don't want to keep interrupting your story. But I met Karen Kilgariff. They
Oh,
mentioned me on the podcast. Thank you.
well, there was an episode. I think they were they were reading off people's stories, and there was this one girl who had a story that her and her husband were hiking, and I think they either saw somebody or tripped over something and saw somebody, and then they thought it was kind of weird, and so they decided to go to like not finish that hike, and then it turns out like that was one of like Ted Bundy's like dumping grounds or something. So all I'm saying, it could have been a ghost, could have been a serial killer. It could have just been another
emo
man
guy
hiking, being weird. Like,
it's a fucking
but you don't
punk
know.
rock.
You don't
Punk
know.
rocker. That's what that's all that whole thing. Like, would you rather see a man or a bear in the woods? That's that question.
I would rather see a bear.
Yeah, because a bear's like supposed to be in the woods. Like I'm in your house at this point. You know.
And bring your bear bells if you're hiking.
Oh, a bear bell.
Bring your bear bells.
Okay. Make noise. Is that what you're saying? Because it's a brown bear. If it's black, fight back. If it's brown, lay down. If it's white, good night.
Did you know that there's a thing called Fat Bear Week?
Fat bear?
Yeah. It's like a wait. I have to send you a link right now. You like rate all these different bears in I think it's in Alaska or something. And yeah, they're in Alaska, and you vote for which one's the fattest bear, and then one of the bears wins.
Oh my God.
Fat Bear Week.
This one has a sash and a crown. Oh my God.
The winner this year was Grazer, if anyone's wondering.
This one's huge. Oh my God. Fat bear.
The International Lounge Podcast is your passport to world culture. Join your hosts as they dive deep into the ancient and modern history of different countries in each episode. Laugh along with special guest comedians as they explore the 4 F's of cultural survival: film, fiction, food, and funk. So, put your tray tables down for a hilarious ride through time. Subscribe to International Lounge on your favorite podcast platform today.
This next one is from, it doesn't matter. We don't know these people. I was staying in a B&B in Donegal, Ireland, where every room on the floor had a shared bathroom. I went in one morning to pee, and there was a man with his pants around his ankles asleep in the bathtub. The soap dish and the towel rack were all torn off the wall, and it appeared he had fallen over while relieving himself and fallen in the tub. While struggling to get out with his pants down, he had torn things from the wall. He then proceeded to proceeded to pass out. I woke the man up and helped him from the tub, after which he proceeded to hug me and declared me his hero. And this is how I ended up embracing a drunk Irish man with his pants around his ankles. And then someone commented, "This is violently Irish." Wait, so
describe Ireland in one story.
So he like fell, tore everything off the wall as he was like trying to get back up. And then when he tried to get back up, he passed out.
Poor guy. Man.
Oh my God. Too much Guinness.
Too much Guinness.
This is the last one. Okay. When traveling solo in Vietnam, I boarded a public ferry in the lower Delta. I noticed that everyone on board was white and dressed kind of fancy, but I figured it was some Europeans traveling in Southeast Asia. Then 15 minutes into the ride, someone started pouring champagne and passing it around to passengers. I was impressed with the service on this public ferry. The person pouring champagne got to me and gave me a puzzled look as I reached for a glass. I then realized I got on a private boat. We had a good laugh, and then they dropped me off at the next ferry dock.
That's a sweet story.
It is, but I would be like, wait, I'm not staying. Like, I'm not staying on this party. Like, I'm already here.
Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what I would do in some of these situations.
Right.
And I feel like, yeah, I just like play into it. Well, I mean, nobody's after. Did somebody come up to her and be like, hey, you're on the wrong boat?
Well, I think that guy was just like, what are you doing here? He's like, I'm trying to get a ferry.
Funny, you just like walked up to a random boat. That's so funny.
But they're all dressed like classy, and he's like, I know he's in like backpacker clothing, like he has his backpack, just fucking gross. I'm surprised it took them that long to realize, like, if everyone's dressed classy and there's like this humbum looking guy, that it took him that long to be like, who's this guy? I would low-key be not offended, but sad if they were like, okay, guys, dock the boat, let this guy get off. I'd be like, wait, what? I'm not gonna stay on.
I mean, maybe they couldn't let him stay because of his outfit. You know?
That's what's holding them back.
He didn't fit the integrity of the event.
You're gonna ruin our pictures.
Yeah. They're like, you gotta go.
If it was me, he's staying on because now you're definitely part of the party. Like, you're the party story. You have to stay on.
It's so true.
You're gonna make the pictures better. I think like they seem nice, but they're not cool. Like, you're clearly not cool because you would let me stay on if you were cool.
If you want to be cool, let us stay.
Let us stay. Yeah. If you had the confidence to join my private exclusive party, you should stay.
Unknowingly,
you should stay. Have a glass of champagne. Snort some cocaine. Have some fun.
well,
I just
don't do drugs.
At least it wasn't a wedding. That would be fucking
Oh,
crazy.
so bad. I would stay for that too. I'd be like, well, I mean, I'm a witness now.
Oh God.
It's like you're on a boat. It's like, where are you gonna go?
Right? Like, I can't go anywhere. Like,
it's like, oh, well, I guess I'm part of this wedding now.
I just feel like they should just let him stay. But they gave him champagne, which is nice. You know, but then they're like, you need to leave.
One for the road.
Yeah. Which was your favorite story? So it was the poop,
And
scuba poop, or serial killer hiker, drunk Irishman, classic, or I got on the wrong party. Can I please stay?
it has to be the poop story. That one's just wild.
Poop always wins.
Poop always wins.
It'll always trump any other story because it's just gut health. Eat your fiber.
Water.
Or ask if there's a bathroom before you do an adventure.
Or you scuba folk out there. Let us know.
Yeah. Travel. That's travel for you. You could anything.
But you come out with these fun stories
that you can say on Reddit that everyone likes. And then you could somehow end up on a podcast. You know?
I'm not a Reddit person.
I'm not either.
I don't frequent Reddit. Actually, I don't know if I fully comprehend Reddit.
I was trying to understand that too. So I'm trying to understand the app more. And yeah, I'm confused. But I think I do like it. Because when I think about it, it's just people telling stories.
I don't fully get it.
I think it's for people if you're into like super niche things, because it's not good for general questions. It's like if you want to learn about ship anchors, there's a ship anchor Reddit. If you want to learn about maple syrup, there's probably a maple syrup Reddit. I think it's like if you want to get really niche.
Wait, I'll look up a maple syrup Reddit.
Do I need the app?
I just made that up.
I have no idea if that exists.
Maple syrup.
Let's look it up. There's 126,000 members to maple syrup Reddit. People are just kind of just talking on here. Oh my God. Why does my cat's belly smell like maple syrup? This has 7,000 votes. This is the cat.
I think your cat's belly.
This is the cat's picture.
So cute.
Let's find out the answers. Everyone comments. Mine smells like a library book. Mine smells like an autumn leaf. That's how my old lady smells.
Okay, guys, stop sniffing your cats. That's
See,
enough.
this is Reddit. I think Reddit is like, these are nice comments. I kind of like Reddit. Everyone's nice on here.
I feel like most of these maple syrup thread things are like, is there mold in my maple syrup? Am I on the wrong one? I don't get.
We're gonna figure it out though. We're gonna figure out Reddit.
Guys, we are gonna learn Reddit. And we'll come back. We'll come back stronger next time.
Can someone let us know who uses Reddit? Is it for the old folk? Is it for the Gen Ls? Whatever kind of, I don't know what generations we have out now, but like who's using Reddit? What is Reddit?
Tell us. Somebody explain Reddit.
Well, to end, since this podcast is all about learning about different countries, learning about different cultures, what's something you've learned recently?
Something I've learned. Is this an open question?
Open question.
About anything?
Anything. What have you learned?
Okay, what have I learned?
But I did learn something related to a country and to travel. So on that snorkeling trip, I met someone from Singapore. And I was like, oh, I love that city. And he was like, it's a country, right? Did you know that?
I did. I did know that Singapore is a country.
You know it was a country?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it's just me. I'm in the dark. And he explained to me that Singapore is a country and Malaysia is a country. I knew that one. But I just was like, I thought it was just a city. I thought it was just a city in Malaysia. But I think there's a whole history behind it that's like very political and confusing. But what's crazy is now some of my top listeners now are from Singapore. Hey, hello. I did not know that y'all were a country. So we're going to have to cover Singapore at some point in the podcast because I did not realize that. So, but this is why we're on the podcast, to learn things and become less ignorant. And I got caught. He caught me ignorant. Okay. Yes. I did meet someone this summer who told me he was from Singapore and I thought that was Malaysia. And then he told me very nicely that it was not Malaysia. And I was like, whoa, I really thought it was. So I am not an expert in this. I just learned this information. I'm also really not good with like political stuff and geopolitical stuff. So spark notes from what I read is that it seems like England used to own the whole world, as you know, and they owned Singapore. And so as England was owning Singapore, Malaysia was doing its own thing. Singapore's doing its own thing. They're now creating kind of two different politics, two different kind of socio-economic structures and cultures, and insert fancy words. They're becoming two different places, really, after one of them is being colonized. And so when World War II happened, Japan took over most of Asia. And so England left. But then World War II ended. Japan lost. And England was like, oh, we kind of want to get our colonies back. But by then, things were quite different. And it gets kind of foggy from here. But essentially, Britain, I think, leaves Singapore, and then Singapore tries to join back with Malaysia. But at this point, it seems like they're just two different countries. They're two different countries. One of them is like very racist against the other. And then it's like something about communism and y'all, I don't know. I'm not the right person for this, but essentially they're just too different at this point. And so they tried for a little bit, but then they were like, you got to go. And Singapore was like, wait, really? And Malaysia was like, yeah, we don't like you. We're too different now. So Singapore went off to do their own thing. And then they became stupid rich and they're so successful. And now it's like the coolest city ever to go visit. That's my interpretation of what I saw on YouTube. But if you want to learn the real reason why Singapore is not considered Malaysia, and they're two different countries, I will leave some links below of the actual history, and you can learn about it. And then you can be like, whoa, she did a really bad job explaining that, because I did. But essentially, colonization. If you are from Singapore, which, hey, I see y'all have been listening. Y'all are like now my new top listeners. I think that's the shit. Fuck yeah. I would love to go to Singapore soon. I'm very close to it right now. I'm recording this in Vietnam and I've been to your airport. Let me know if you can explain that better. You can always email me. My email is culturecultshow@gmail.com. My Instagram is @culturecultshow. Feel free to reach out if you have any cool facts about Singapore. I can shout out. And if you think you can explain it a little bit better than that, because that was a poor explanation. But yes, essentially, long story short, I learned that Singapore is not Malaysia, and it's nice, kind man told me that this summer. And Now we know, because this podcast is all about admitting when you're ignorant and learning from that. Okay, let's get back into the show.
I do have another
Waterproof.
funny story from the train trip, but it's not really something I learned. It's just a funny story.
Okay.
The funny story is that one of the girls that was with us in Sleepy Hollow today was telling us about her night out last night.
Mm-hmm.
And she said that she met this guy and she thought he was gay. So she was like dancing with him at the bar.
This is literally me.
And then he was like, she said he asked her if she wanted something to drink. So she was like, yeah. He was like, well, I'm only going to buy you a drink if you're interested in me. And
What?
she was like, she said she was sitting there. She was like, I thought he was gay. And so she was like, oh, yeah, I guess.
Oh.
So she got her drink and like continued to talk to this guy. And then I guess like after she finished her drink, this guy was like, do you want some alcohol? And she was like, what? And he was like, come with me. And he took her outside of the bar and went into a bush and pulled out a water bottle that he had hid there that was filled with tequila soda.
I would do this, but continue.
And she drank from it. I was like, are you crazy?
No.
I said it tasted like lukewarm tequila and soda. But so we would be calling it, I can't remember, we started calling him the Bushman.
Wait, hold on. That's really smart, because let's be honest, New York is so goddamn expensive.
So expensive. But also
You
sketchy.
have to-
Sketchy.
No, it's
to
sketchy
leave
because
a bottle in a bush.
I
feel like
still would
first
do
thought
it.
as a female, I would have been like, this man is about to drug me with this water bottle.
If he was a girl or if he was actually gay, I would do it with him. But now I know that you're not gay. I don't trust you.
Yeah, but apparently he took a sip first, so I don't know. But I was just like, this is such a crazy story. Maybe there's more bush water.
Look in the
water
bushes,
people
y'all.
out there.
Look in the bushes. There's probably so much alcohol.
Is there a Reddit thread for bush tequila soda bottles? Bushmans.
But can't relate more with the is he gay? I'm constantly asking that. I'm constantly asking, is he gay? I don't know. And then I fall for guys that are gay, and then I'm like, well, that's confusing. And then there's guys that I'm like, oh, you're gay. No, you're not gay. I don't. There needs to be like you should be able to wear a sign. We should all wear our signs with our sexuality. I think it'd be so much way easier.
Name tags.
I would wear personally. I'm straight. I will sleep with my close friends who are girls because we got drunk. So I'm not bisexual. That's what I would wear.
Wow, that's a mouthful. That's a long name tag.
But see, but that
like read it.
Yes, they're like, oh, okay, so you're not really okay. Yeah. What would you wear? What's your
Mine
name
would
tag?
say I'm straight. Straight up.
So straight. But this is what we need.
Super straight.
I'm straight. Period. I went on that date with that Bumble guy, and instead of the whole time being like, I feel like he's gay, he could just have a sign that says, I'm straight, but I come off gay. He should have that.
Okay. I don't even know what to say.
No, I know. If I run the world, if I'm president, that's happening.
Somebody started another Reddit. Oh,
Reddit.
New app.
Coined it. Don't steal it.
Don't steal it. I'm trademarking Reddit.
The Reddit is for people like us who don't understand Reddit.
But then we wouldn't know how to make Reddit.
No.
Okay, anyone who can make an app.
No, we're gonna hire a nerd.
Email. We're hiring nerds.
And it's mandatory at the company for you to wear a sexuality tag.
And please also explain Reddit to us, please.
Yeah, that's
while you're at it. While you're making our new cooler app.
Reddit.
We would also like to know about.
You have to explain Reddit. You don't want to work for us. Yeah, Reddit's good though. Okay, well, Gravy, do you have anything you want to say to the crowd? Anyone you want to shout out? Do you want to just anything?
I'm sorry that I was sniffling this entire call. I have a cold.
Oh, I didn't even hear it.
I tried to mute myself a couple times.
Every time you sniffle, you have to mute.
Every time I was like coughing, I was like, oh,
mute.
I should mute. Yeah, that's it.
Well, yay. Well, if that's the show, we can kind of stop it there.
Cut the cameras.
Yay. Thank y'all for listening. Look up Fat Bear Week if you need to smile today. It's just fucking great. Everything from Alaska is great. I also mentioned in this episode how I fucking met Karen Kilgariff. And if you're like, who's Karen Kilgariff? She is a comedian, but she's also the host of my favorite podcast that I've been listening to since for 6 years straight now. My Favorite Murder. My Favorite Murder is the best podcast ever. I don't care. It's the best. And I've been listening to them religiously every single week for 6 years. And I met Karen. This is way bigger than any celebrity to me, because you have to think about it. It's not like, oh, I saw Brad Pitt. I've seen him in a couple movies. He's hot. No, I fucking met the person I listen to her voice every single week. I met her on accident. So real quick, I want to tell you all how that happened, because that was such a serendipitous day. So I went to this podcast conference in LA where I used to live, and it was just epic. Honestly, it was epic. I was meeting all these cool people, and one of the cool people I saw on stage was Amy Poehler. And Amy Poehler was on stage, and she was asked, who is your favorite podcast? And she said her favorite podcast is My Favorite Murder. So I took a picture of her and I posted it, tagged My Favorite Murder, and said, oh my gosh, Amy Poehler's favorite podcast is my favorite podcast. They picked up that post and then reposted it on their Instagram. That alone was fucking awesome, because millions of people follow this Instagram, and they reposted that. That was epic. It could have ended there. Later on, I get invited to a exclusive Spotify party that Katie from Queen's Podcast, shout out, fucking love Katie. That's a good podcast. Definitely listen to Queen's Podcast. Katie invited me to this Spotify exclusive party. That's also where I met some girls from My Worst Date. Also a great podcast. I just had a good time at this party. Anyways, again, that was enough for the experience. The night is winding down. There's maybe 10 people left in the party. We're about to leave. And I see a woman, pale, come in, short black hair, red lips. I fucking knew it. I was like, that's fucking Karen. And now if y'all have never met your favorite celebrity, and you never met a celebrity at all, you have 2 fucking seconds to decide. Are you going to reach out and potentially annoy them? Are you going to walk away and tell everyone you met them and just be satisfied with that experience? I chose to annoy, because again, in those 2 seconds, they see that you see them and they're like, ugh, so you just have to act on it or walk away. I acted on it. So everyone's surrounding her. So I decided to talk to her producer who's sitting next to her. And I told her, I was like, hey, I saw y'all reposted my post about Amy Poehler. And she was like, oh my God, that was you? And I was like, yeah, that was me. And then she grabs Karen and she was like, Karen, this is her. This is her. She's the one who posted about Amy Poehler saying that you're her favorite podcast. And then Karen told me when she saw what I posted, she cried at dinner with her friends. She cried at dinner because of what I posted. And then it gets better. That week, I go to listen to My Favorite Murder, and they mention it. They mention this whole experience. They mentioned Amy Poehler, mentioning them, her crying at the dinner. She didn't really mention me, but that's okay. And my name was in her mouth. Anyways, that was the best day of my life. That was the shit. And yeah, so just wanted to tell y'all that story because it was epic. And I hope y'all get to meet your celebrity favorite person ever or favorite podcast person ever, because that would be the shit. Speaking of favorite podcast person ever, if you love me, why don't y'all leave an Apple review? A, because it helps boost the podcast. B, it helps me feel like I'm not talking into a microphone into a wall like a freak. So if you want to show that you exist, you can reach out to me at my Instagram is at culturecultshow. You can leave me an email. My email is culturecultshow@gmail.com. Or if you want to stay anonymous and just send me some love, go to Apple Podcasts and leave a review. That would be the shit. That would be so, whenever I see a review, I'm like, holy shit, I'm not talking to myself. So yay. Thank you so much. Shout out Singapore. Thank you for listening, Singapore. I'll come visit y'all soon. And don't hate me for explaining your country's history so badly. Okay. Cheers, y'all. And I'll see y'all for the next episode, which is going to be a big one. It's going to be a big one about the Jim Jones massacre that happened in Guyana. A huge story. And it's with my cousins, Emma and Julia. So it'll be a fun episode, but very heavy, just letting you know. Okay. I will talk to y'all next time. Cheers, y'all.